You study English almost every day. You watch videos. You memorize vocabulary. You learn grammar rules. Maybe you even use an English learning app every morning. But then something frustrating happens. Someone asks you a simple question in English. What did you do yesterday? And suddenly your mind goes blank. You know the words, you know the grammar, you've studied this before, but you can't answer. Or maybe you watch a movie in English. You understand a few words, maybe even entire sentences. But when the characters start speaking naturally and quickly, everything disappears, and you start thinking, why am I not improving? Maybe you need more vocabulary. Maybe you need another grammar book. Maybe you need another app, but what if the problem isn't how much English you're studying? What if you're simply studying English the wrong way? Because spending more time studying doesn't automatically mean you'll become better at English. You can study for 1 hour every day and still struggle to have a basic conversation. And someone else can practice for 20 minutes and improve faster. The difference isn't always time. Sometimes it's the way you practice. In this video, I'm going to show you a simple method that can completely change the way you study English. And stay with me until the end, because the last part connects everything together. Without it, you can study every day and still feel like you're starting over. Let's begin with something many English learners do without realizing it. They collect English. They collect words, grammar rules, videos, apps, books, and lessons. They might know hundreds or even thousands of English words, but knowing a word and being able to use that word are two completely different things. Imagine you learn these 5 words today. Actually, probably, instead. Enough, improve. You read their meanings. You repeat them once. Then you move to another lesson. Tomorrow you learn 10 new words. The next day another 10. After 1 month, you've seen hundreds of words. That feels productive. But now I ask you, can you naturally use those 5 words in a conversation? That's where the problem appears. Instead of trying to learn 20 new words today, choose 5 useful words and actually use them. For example, actually, I like this. I'll probably go tomorrow. Let's do this instead. That's enough for today. I want to improve my English. Now the words aren't just information. They're becoming part of your English. And there's an even better way to do this. Stop learning isolated words and start learning complete sentences. Let's say you learn the word tired. Good, but what are you going to do with it? Instead, learn I'm tired. Then, I'm really tired today. Then, I'm tired because I didn't sleep well. Look at what just happened. 1 word became 3 useful sentences. And now you're learning vocabulary, grammar, and sentence structure at the same time. Let's try another one. Instead of learning only the word hungry, learn I'm hungry. Are you hungry? I'm getting hungry. These are sentences you could actually use. Your goal shouldn't be, how many English words do I know? A better question is, how many ideas can I express in English? Because conversations aren't made of vocabulary lists. They're made of sentences. But there's still a problem. You can know hundreds of sentences and still struggle to understand people. And one reason is that you may be listening to English that is too difficult for your current level. Many beginners think, if I watch difficult English, I'll improve faster, so they open a movie. No subtitles. Native speakers talking quickly. Slang. Different accents. Words connected together. After 5 minutes, they understand almost nothing. Then they think, my listening is terrible. But imagine you're learning to swim. Would you practice by jumping into the middle of the ocean? Probably not. English works in a similar way. You need difficulty, but you need the right difficulty. Choose something where you can already understand part of what's happening. Maybe a short beginner conversation, maybe a simple YouTube video, maybe a story designed for English learners. Listen once. Don't try to understand every word. Just ask yourself, what is this about? Then listen again. This time, notice the words and phrases you recognize. Then use subtitles or a transcript if you need them. Find 1 or 2 expressions you didn't understand. Learn what they mean, and listen again. This 3rd listen is extremely important, because now your brain knows what to look for. Something that sounded impossible a few minutes ago may suddenly become clearer. And that's when English starts becoming recognizable instead of sounding like noise. But don't stop there, because understanding English is only half of the process. Imagine you watch an English lesson. You understand everything the teacher says. Great. Then the video ends, and you say nothing. This is one of the biggest problems with passive learning. Understanding someone else speaking English doesn't automatically train you to produce English yourself. So after learning something, use it immediately. Let's say you learn, "What are you doing?" Don't just read it. Say it. "What are you doing?" Now answer, "I'm studying English." Change it. "What are you watching?" "I'm watching a video." Change it again. "What are you eating?" "I'm eating breakfast." You just turned one sentence pattern into a conversation exercise, and you don't even need another person to begin practicing. You can practice alone. Look around your room and describe what you see. My phone is on the table. The window is open. I'm sitting in my chair. I need to clean my room. Simple? Yes, but that's exactly the point. If you can't comfortably produce simple English, trying to produce complicated English won't solve the problem. Build automatic responses with easy sentences first. But there is another mistake that makes many learners feel like they're constantly starting over. They keep learning, but they rarely review. Imagine learning 50 new expressions this week. Sounds impressive, but next week you remember 8. So you learn another 50. Then you forget most of those too. You're moving forward while constantly losing what you learned behind you. That's why review matters. You don't need hundreds of new expressions every week. You need useful English that stays with you. Create a small list, maybe 10 sentences. For example, "What do you mean?" "I don't know yet." "Give me a minute." "I'm not sure." "It depends." "That makes sense." Practice them today. Come back tomorrow and practice them again. 2 days later, do it again. A week later, review them one more time. But don't only read them. Cover the sentence and try to remember it. Say it aloud. Create your own example. Turn it into a question. Your goal is to reach the point where you don't need to search your memory for the sentence. It simply comes out. That's what you want during a real conversation. And now we arrive at the part that connects everything. Many English learners don't have a system. They have motivation. On Monday, they think, "I'm going to become fluent." They study for 2 hours. Tuesday, 1 hour. Wednesday, 20 minutes. Thursday, nothing. Then English disappears for 2 weeks. You don't need a perfect study routine. You need one you can actually repeat. Try this simple 15-minute routine. Spend the first 5 minutes listening. Choose a short piece of English at your level and listen carefully. Then spend 5 minutes learning. Take 3 useful sentences from what you heard. Not 20. 3. Understand them and create your own examples. Finally, spend 5 minutes speaking. Repeat the sentences aloud. Change them. Answer questions. Talk about your day. That's it. 15 minutes. Listen, learn, speak, and if you have more time, great, you could do another short session later in the day. But don't make the mistake of thinking, "If I can't study for 1 hour, there's no point studying today." 10 or 15 focused minutes are much better than waiting for the perfect day to study for 3 hours. And here's something important. You don't have to make English boring. If you like football, watch simple football content in English. If you like games, play in English. If you like cooking, watch recipes in English. If you like technology, follow technology content in English. If you like movies, take a short scene and study the expressions. English doesn't always have to feel like a school subject. It can become part of something you already enjoy. But remember, don't just consume it. Listen. Notice useful English. Repeat it. And use it. For the next 7 days, try something different. Stop trying to learn everything. Every day, listen to something simple. Choose 3 useful sentences. Understand them. Say them aloud. Create your own examples. And review the sentences you learned before. That's all. After 7 days, you'll have practiced useful sentences multiple times instead of seeing hundreds of words once and forgetting them. And more importantly, you'll have trained the skills you actually need. Listening, remembering, building sentences, and speaking. So, if you've been studying English for months and still feel stuck, don't immediately assume you need to study more. Ask yourself, am I practicing English? Or am I only consuming information about English? Because those are not the same thing. You don't need another giant vocabulary list. You don't need to understand every grammar rule before you speak, and you definitely don't need perfect English to start using English. Start small. Use what you learn. Repeat what matters. Listen to English you can understand. Speak before you feel completely ready. And build a routine you can repeat tomorrow. Because maybe you were never bad at learning English. Maybe you were just studying it the wrong way. And now you know what to do differently. If you want to learn English with simple lessons you can actually understand and use in real life, subscribe to the channel. And remember, don't just study English, use it.